Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Just let me know you're here by commenting. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. So, hope everyone's had a good start of their week. We've had an interesting one already. Um, but I'll talk about that later on. um, Getting things set up and ready to go. And I know it does take time for notifications to go out, so we'll give it a few minutes. Hey, sis. We've had a big wet week so far, and electrifying week so far. Which sometimes can spur activity in the paranormal. So we'll see how that goes. They may start doing some stuff out here in the shed soon. Let's see. So I got a couple of places I want to read from about Will Harris's murders and be able to talk about that. Let me send a few more notifications out. I know everything gets slow going out. Um, there we go. All right, I got a few more notifications going out. So, but I'll get started here in just a minute on the whole story. I know people do trickle in later and stuff. That's fine. No problem. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I'll be reading from a couple of places. One is, hey Bam, how are you? One is from Asheville Terrors, and I'm not associated with them at all. But the one, it's a story I'm gonna be reading from. And also, I think the other one is the let me look at that Daily News. I believe is out of New York. They reported on stuff here in Asheville. So I want to get into both of those in just a second. But Will Harris was a evil person. I mean, very evil person. And so me and Marnie have done a couple of videos on a place called Eagle Street that I'll be talking about here in a little bit. And you can go back and look at those videos. We did a day side video and a Halloween night video about 4 years ago. And we talk about that. Marnie narrates it real well, and we talk about what happened. what I'm about to talk about tonight. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so it says trouble comes to town is what the heading is on this, and it says Will Harris was convicted with a rap sheet a mile long for everything from burglary to assault. He had even managed to murder a police officer. Years before the tragic night in Nashville, he was a part of a chain gang in Charlotte and escaped. The city ended up hiring its first black detective, Van Griffin, to track him down. The detective managed to arrest him and got him booked in the county jail. Harris escaped again. Griffin caught him again, and this time he sent him to prison in Raleigh. And it goes on to say, once again, Harris pulled his Houdini trick and got free from the chain gang he was attached to and escaped in a wagon load of bricks. Tired of his run ins with Detective Griffin, he decided to try his luck in Asheville, North Carolina. He wanted to get out of the detective's jurisdiction, but he also had an old flame named Molly Maxwell there. Harris showed up in Asheville November 12th, 1906. On the morning of the 13th, he spent $35 on nice clothes and a Savage 303 rifle and a jug of bourbon. And he's made his way to out to Molly's sister's place, Pearl Maxwell. Okay, so I want to kind of stop there for just a moment because I'm trying to uh, talk and go back and forth a little bit because um, of what I've been able to investigate so far. So far, um, I don't know where Harris is buried at. There is some word that it could be buried in Riverside Cemetery, which I've kind of dabbled in trying to find out a little more, but it's not much. And I've even tried an investigation here. Didn't really get anything at all. Hey, Vodka, how are you? Good morning. Um, but not really come up with anything at Riverside. But also, there's no other way of knowing exactly where he's buried. Now, when you go back and look at the Maxwell sisters, Molly and Pearl, I cannot find where they're buried at either. I've gone through Find a Grave and looked for all kinds of stuff. I can't find where they're buried. I would love to be able to find out if they're buried here somewhere locally, and I can investigate where they're at. But I've not been able to find them. So the next part I'm going to read from is from the Daily News. I believe, like I said, this was out of New York, and we'll get into that one. And this one, I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off a little bit. It says Harris made a decision to abandon Griffin's jurisdiction, and that's when he went to Asheville. Now, he had an old flame named Molly Maxwell, who was not, by the way, there uh, when he went to find her. So it said, like it says here, too, he got $35 of clothing, rifle, and a bourbon out of all that. Could you imagine buying clothing, a rifle, and bourbon for $35 a day? Well, I'll take that back. $38. So the jug of bourbon was $3. Um, but he does make his way to Pearl's house. Now, Molly was living 20 miles away in Hendersonville, but he made his way to Pearl's house in Nashville, and she cooked him a meal, but warned him that she expected her boyfriend, Tony Johnson, at 11 p.m. Now, I don't know where he's at either. I have no idea. I have no idea where Tony Johnson is buried at either. I can't figure that out. Um, Harris became even more belligerent as he drained his whiskey. Not drank, but drained his whiskey. In other words, just guzzled it down, I'm assuming. Um, and by the time Johnson, the boyfriend, had arrived, the escape con was drunk and lathered and ready for a fight. When Harris reached for his rifle, Johnson dashed to the police office and warned the cops to be careful. This man's a drunk and he's going to kill somebody. And he was right. Captain John Page and Officer Charles Blackstock hurried to Maxwell's home, sensing commotion outside. And this is where it starts getting crazy. And this is like a 10-minute, you know, escapade is about to happen here. Um, and then it goes on to say that the Harris had his rifle and fired shots through a wooden door that caught Blackstock, Officer Blackstock, square in the chest and killing him. So not sure where Blackstock is buried, by the way. A second shot passed through the flesh of Page's arm, but from what I understand, he did live. He was fine after they checked him out. And look, Bama got funeral. uh, Harris slipped from the house and headed to the business district, firing along the way at anyone he saw in his eyesight. Um, he shot and killed Benjamin Addison, and he was a black shopkeeper. And Walter, I hope I'm going to pronounce this guy's name right, Corping or something like that. I hope I didn't badger it too bad. He was another citizen walking home from work. He was greeted with a fatal blast from the savage. A third man, Tom Neal, was shot and killed as he stood on his porch. So his next run in, he would wound all these and shoot and kill. He done all this stuff. Page and another officer, Bailey, ran toward the shots. They exchanged fire. All this going on. James Bailey gets shot and killed. So there is, you know, in just a 10-minute time, Bailey was the fifth and final victim that he got. And then Harris made his way to the woods at the edge of town and disappeared. They did find him though. So the following daybreak, this goes on, and let me get before I get to what happened to Harris and how he did not survive this. Um, like I say, some of these people in here that was shot and killed, it was so horrible. Um, I'm not sure where they're buried at, to be honest with you, but may they rest in peace. But now Addison and Bailey, I have done investigations on at Riverside Cemetery. And Addison was one that the video I did a couple of videos ago where the flashlight comes on. So if you hadn't seen that video, go check it out. It's just a few videos back. And I did Bailey. It was a little windy that day, and I used the ghost tube. Uh, so those are the two I've been able to investigate. We have done, like I said, a Eagle Street investigation, kind of investigate, more or less a walk through and a just talking about it mostly. So, like I say, he disappeared into the woods, and by the following daybreak, a throng of some 300 revenge-minded men had gathered on the town square. Police organized them into a dozen posse who were armed with 125 guns, borrowed from pawn shops and hardware stores, according to historians. Um, so what they did was it goes on with a little bit more of a side story with it. Anyway, they track him down to a place in Fletcher, and he's hiding in a bush, and they figure out he's there. And what happened was they all start shooting at him. I mean, could you imagine, 125 guns going off or more going off at one time? Um, it was crazy. I said nearly 100 men stood pointing firearms at the thicket. They fired some 500 rounds. 500 rounds. Um, and obviously it got him. Um, someone counted over 100 bullet wounds in his body. I mean, they just laid waste to him. I mean, it was over with. Um, but that's pretty much a story. I know I went through it pretty quick, but it that's the story of it. And the investigations that we've done so far have led me to want to do more. It's just kind of hard for me to do more in places in Nashville. There's a tap room called Barley's Tap Room. I'm sorry, and I've not been able to get anything from that to do an investigation. They say it's very, very haunted in there, and a lot of that is from this situation of the Harris murders. And again, I don't know where Harris is at. I don't know where he's buried. I would like to do an investigation on him to see if I get him to come through. Um, Not to. It'd be one of those things like why did you do it? That'd be my question. Why what was going through your mind? And sometimes and see if there was any remorse. If he had any remorse, if he had any, if he may not. Kind of like the John Pate situation. He had no remorse for killing John Crowder. He was happy with it. And my mom got the word killing. Oh my gosh. And then she got hit. Vocal has come through. Riley. But it's interesting. Bama got funeral. My mom got killing and hit. These are all things we're talking about. And mental now. He's in a mental state that wasn't right. Um, but I mean, all these words coming through, it's kind of, it's really related to what we're talking about tonight for sure. Um, let's see. So a little bit more about this. This is after all the shooting happened with Harris. Um, it happened in 1906. I don't even know if I mentioned it. I thought I did, but I may not have. Mom got 9. Um, at the end of this whole thing, they took Harris's body and put it on display for the town folks to prove that the nightmare was finally over. He was dead. A reward had been created immediately after the shooting. A group who shot Harris requested the money go to the widows of the officers and everyone else. I guess it was murdered through this. Uh, the city of Asheville prohibited sale of alcohol in the town the very next year because of the drunken violence that's since been lifted. Thomas Wolfe, who lived in the town when he was a child, was sleeping less than 1 mile away from the shootout. And he is. It was not far at all. Uh, it's amazing. And I've read this part before. It's real weird. He would often go to the Vance Memorial and run his fingers over the chips that were left there, glancing at the bullet. Now the bullet went into this Vance monument. Um, he ended up writing a story called "The Child by Tiger." I've not read that, but which recounted the episode of Will Harris's body mysteriously vanishing afterwards. So, and that's another thing that's kind of interesting too is that some of the things I have read that he is buried at Riverside. Some say he wasn't because they were didn't want him buried or the same place where the officers were buried. But got woods. Yeah, he ran off into the woods too. um, but yeah, his body did vanish. They're not really sure exactly. I mean, that was yeah. I'm sure that It didn't get a proper burial, I can tell you that. Yeah, it could have been Raleigh. Yeah, I said of Raleigh. Yeah. I mean, everything you all are getting tonight, which is I thank you guys for doing that too, doing your ghost tool, because you just never know what the spirits might. I mean, it may give us some clues to some stuff. Fall, um, but yeah, I've never read the book, The Child by Tiger. Don't really know that book, but yeah, Thomas Wolfe, and we've done some investigations of Thomas Wolfe. I got a video too of the haunted places in Asheville. We did at night one night after we did a trolley tour, and the Thomas Wolfe House is there, and it's not far from the Vance Monument, which by the way is no longer there. They took it down, but there was bullet holes in the memorial. I don't think I've ever got the bullet holes in the video before, but I have got video of the Vance Memorial up there, and like I said, they've let's just say they took it down because they just had to take it down. And but yeah, his body vanishing afterwards is really a big mystery. Narrative, almost like narrating. Um, like, but anyway, I mean, what do you all think? Where do you think that body might be? What do you think they might have done with that thing? Um, but now here's some things that let me get this set up here a little bit better, and we'll talk about what people have experienced in the area of Eagle Street and that surrounding area. So it goes on to say, and this is from Asheville Terrors as well. Again, I'm not associated with them, but they do have a really cool site. Um, as a matter of fact, let me do this. This might help. Um, hang on. I want to copy and paste this to where you can read it if you like. I know Bama likes to read things, and kind of my sister loves it too. But there it is. Y'all can click onto that whenever and bring up what I'm reading. And I didn't go into full detail of every little thing that's on there because that would take a lot of time. But that's from the Asheville Terrace, and you can also just look at that page as well, and it will give you more of an insight about what I do investigate. Like I say, I'm not associated with them, but just things that I've investigated, places like Helen's Bridge and stuff. This was from the place I read when I did Helen's Bridge's podcast. This was one of them. Reward, yeah, they got a reward. Oh, the spirits are listening tonight. Yeah, they did. They gave the reward to the widows. Yeah, cave. He might have found a cave for a while, then he got died. Oh wow. Mm. I mean, everything's just like lining up. Um. Oh man. There you go. I figure you probably looking that up. But yeah, check on that, guys. Click on that Asheville Terrors. It'll take you right to the page I'm reading it right now, and then you can just kind of go through it and just read other stuff. And if if you want to read through the Asheville Terrors and you have any questions about places I've investigated, or maybe some things you'd like to see me investigate, you can send me a message about that. Um, okay, so let's go into the paranormal part of it. Excuse me, and talk about that. Some things that they've investigated or people have had experiences with. It says if ghosts are trapped because of the violent death, then it would make unfortunate sense for Harris's victims to be unable to move on. Eagle Street is said to be haunted by the men killed. People have reported seeing an old fashioned cop walking and running up and down the streets. Uh, is he still trying to capture Harris in the afterlife? Maybe so. Have regrets? He may have regrets. He may have had regrets when he got in that bush and they went after him. Excuse me. Then listen. All right. Let's see. The sound of a dog barking and howling can be heard in the dark alleyways, but animals are never seen. Shadowy figures dart across the entire area, and ghostly apparitions make themselves known. Then I was talking about the Barley's Tap Room earlier and Pizzeria. I've never been in there before. I would like to try them out someday. Anything that says pizza, I'm all for. It seems that ghosts venture into the pizzeria on occasions. One of Harris's victims was apparently killed on the ground where Barley stands now. The area was originally the home of the town's gallows and has been the site of many supernatural happenings during the 20th century. And medieval and collector. So, um, like I say, I need to let me. Let's see. I want to do something here, and excuse me, getting choked up out here. Um, I want to try to find that video that me and Marnie did in downtown, and I will link it into the description. And here, hey Jojo. So I want to pause talking about it for just a second, or reading about it about just a second. But if you don't have any questions, please ask them. Um, I'm gonna see if I can find that video. Um, I'm just not able to really do night videos outside of the home much. Just here next door at my mom's, I'm just not able to do too much out. But I would definitely like to do another investigation at night in Eagle Street and see if we catch some of those apparitions and shadows and stuff. But what I want to try to do is find that video if I can. I know it's like 400 something videos to go through, but um, so okay, here's one of them, and it's the day investigate or not investigation, but the day video that we did, and what I'll do is I'll put it in the chat, and you guys can go watch that video later. But ooh, there it goes. So Marnie does most of the narration on that one. She's good at that, and always has been good at that. So there it is. If you want to check it out, it's a day investigation at Eagle Street, and we talk about what happened there. So that kind of gives you a little different idea. That video is about 4 years old now. Hard to believe. Okay, so let me go on here. So we talked about Barley's Tap Room being haunted. The gallows are not in. They may be in that video. I'm not sure where they used to be. I can't remember. They could be in that video. It also says there is a report of a shadow man striding down Biltmore Avenue, which is just it meets up to Eagle Street. Um, before it says striding down Biltmore Avenue before disappearing into Barley's. The owner of Barley's once reported he's seen a man's shadow walk past his office window. Impressive feat seeing how he was on the second story. So he kind of like the shadow man went across where there was nowhere to walk. Ghostly flickering of lights, objects moving on their own, and strange sounds have been reported at the bar. Poltergeist activity has been attributed to either Harris himself or one of his victims. Visitors have claimed they have seen little ghost girl. It's dressed in white in Barty's tap room. Paranormal groups have checked the place over thoroughly and have left with ghost pictures and EVPs and other recordings. When there's no noise and strange voices is heard during recorded conversations, it's believed that the spirits are still at work there. So, let's see, we got C and seat. Um, so, I mean, there is a little bit of the paranormal side of it. I may need to see about if I can get in there and film. I know since COVID, there's like less and less people being able to do stuff, but maybe who knows? Statement. I think I just heard thunder. I'm not sure. I think I heard thunder though. We had some big storms today. We had a massive storm come through. And that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. Out in front of my home, I was actually going to get my brother in law and pick him up. And Marnie had originally called and said she thought the transformer near us had blown. And then my mom and sis called and said that they had seen one of the trees in front of her house fall over onto the lines, and it sparked up, fired, and it caught a fire. Um, yeah, it was pretty bad. It was real bad. Luckily, the power was only out for like a couple of hours or so. So me and Shannon just rode around until time I get home. But it was wild. It was a wild. It looked like the video my sister sent looked like almost like a tornado was coming through, but it wasn't a tornado. But it was just a high powered wind that came through. Yeah, it was pretty scary because it was happening here, and I was probably no more than, I guess, 7 8 minutes away from the house is where I have to go, and it was raining hard, but there was no big gusts of wind at all. It was just pouring down rain, and but it just something just whipped through here, and it was crazy. It really was. Hmm. Fortune in 16. Yeah, thank you, Bama. Yeah, we're okay. Everybody was fine. Thank the good Lord. Um, I know that there was places I kind of just drove around until what they did was had to be called. The power company had to be called, and they came and had to cut the tree back, which we still got to cut all the way down. But so I stayed out and waited until, and I got some supper for us and all that anyway. But I rode around. There was certain places I rode around and it would never rain at all, and I was probably in a 15-minute, 20-minute, if even that, from the house at one point in time. And you can see a place where nothing, no rain, nothing, dry as it could be. And it was just one of those pop up showers that just went crazy. But and then we had all that rain last week from the hurricane, and we just prayers for a place in it's known as Haywood County. They got hit pretty hard. Uh, some people had died. I think they've recovered or found some. They found some alive and recovered bodies. But they were also talking like the way that the current was going. There could have been, if there's any bodies that were missing, they could have been swept into Tennessee, from North Carolina into Tennessee. And I think it was thunder again. I heard, but yeah, yeah, not far away from here. I mean, it was just dry as it could be. It is fun. It's weird, vodka. It really is. Um, we just we're in the summertime. So it's like pop up showers can be just a big rain pour. It could be like a sprinkle of rain, or it can be a hellacious rain, and it's just crazy. Like I say, luckily everybody's fine. The power came back on. I didn't know if I was going to go live tonight or not because I didn't know how long the power might be out. I was thinking the lines go down or something like that. It could be a big repair. Because I think Marnie said they said something about it could be about 3 or 4 hours possibly if it was bad enough. Luckily, it wasn't. Dose. But I went to Newton Academy today and did an investigation earlier before all the big storm came through, and used a flashlight and got a hit off of that, which was pretty cool. Don't know when I'll put that video up, but I got a pretty good stack. What's that called? A stack pile or whatever. The videos I'm working on little by little, but anyway, so that was a good investigation day. I spent a good amount of time in there. I love Newton Academy. I think that's where Ryan followed me home from. The bear we got up there. Followed me home and found the bear and attached himself to it. Silliest thing. But you might got any questions about the Will Harris that I read just a moment ago? More energy. They may need more energy. We don't need any more lightning though. But Braden, yeah. So if you have any questions about, it, let me know. I'll try to answer them. Like I say, you can just read that later. What I put into the chat there, if you want. If you have any questions after that about any of the stories that they have on there, I'll try to answer them. I think it's a good website for local here in Nashville. Kind of give you an idea about some of the places, like I say, I've investigated. I need to figure out how to get me a site like that where I can post things about stories and our own experiences and stuff. But I'll have to find some time to do that, though. But you never know. Maybe I'll find time soon to do that. But there's all like I said. There's also that video we did at night, and we do talk about where the gallows are at. And there's the old police station that was in downtown. It's no longer. It was actually used by the paranormal group here that had it as a museum for a while. And there was a story of some kind of a weird demonic presence that made its way into the jail cells there and was terrorizing the inmates. And but it did bring a lot of people to Christ, though. They seen this thing that scared them. They prayed and prayed and got right with the Lord, and so that was a good thing. Even though that monstrous thing was not a good thing, but then when it became a museum, the story goes that one of the there was a guy who ran the he was what was he the oh gosh, he worked when the jail was active, and I cannot remember what his title was right off. But anyway, he found out he had cancer and he killed himself. And then later on, after this place is torn down to a certain degree, they there's it's a little part of it now. It's just a building still there though, but they had a museum in there at one time, and the guy that shot himself's apparition popped up one night, scared some people to death. He didn't harm them. He was very peaceful, from what I can been told, but he never harmed them. But but yeah, but the gallows were right there beside it. Sure was, and there was several people hung there. See, I like to do an investigation and find out where Harris's body ended up. like for a spirit to tell me where it went. I mean, it's a possibility they just, the whoever, the police or the morgue or something, just picked him up and took him and buried him. But there's also is that possibility that somebody stole it, and who knows what happened with it after that. Oh well. So Sunday night we had some new people pop in, which I was very thankful for. Hopefully they'll go back and listen to this podcast. But I do appreciate everybody's help. We're at 904 subscribers. We're getting closer to 1,000. As soon as we hit 1,000, we're gonna do a big giveaway. And the grand prize giveaway will be a paranormal something, something you can use to do investigations with. But it's going to be a secret surprise until that night. Got Oliver. It's a very old fashioned name. Then we got Penelope the other night. Yes, it was, Bam, and thank you very much. And you guys were awesome. You're getting all these words and stuff, and we got REM pod going crazy. I don't have anything out here tonight. Excuse me, I don't have none of the equipment. It's in the house, but now I hear airplane going over. But, the REM pod, the K2. I mean, they were just absolutely going crazy. Um, I don't know. The mirror may have an attachment. I don't know. If not, it may eventually. Seeing as how spirits will sometimes just find things to attach them. They love mirrors for some reason. It's a portal to them that can kind of hang in there. And one story goes, if you stare into a mirror long enough, sometimes you'll see things. I don't want to do that because I mean, you may see something you don't want to see in there besides yourself. But yeah, I don't know. We'll keep working on the mirror investigations. We'll do. We got all of our dolls. I may try to add some more stuff. I really want to get enough stuff for a museum one day. Genius. Um, oh yeah, I'd love to have a museum one day. We got all these, different things, but I think I ought to put the paranormal equipment in there too, just to say, like, I'd probably put the SB7 in there, kind of retire it, and put it in the museum as our first ever spirit box that we. When our first spirit box we ever really used was an app, but our very first one that we ever bought was the SB7. I think I'd put it in there just as a retirement thing. So there you go. It's retired now, but that was our first real big spirit box that we had. Hey Cody, how are you? Um, how's you and your family, Cody? Um, but yeah, I would. That's probably what I would do. I'd put that in there. We'd have the Robert doll. We had the Penguin and Michael and Jane and Ryan, Mirror, all those type of things. I don't know if I would want to get a divot box or not. Maybe if I had a museum, I could put it in a museum, but I don't think I want one at home. That's good, Cody. I'm glad you are. I got mixed, and, and genius was the other word. Um, but yeah, those would be cool. Because when I go to thrift stores, I always look for things sometimes. And that's where we got the penguin creek. I do have a creek right near the house there. And that thing was raging today during that rain. Hill. I've been, the story tonight and everything you guys keep getting is it's related to the story has been very cool. It's funny how that happens. Like when I was doing Newton Academy earlier, I got some. See, let's see, what was it? How did that go? I got it. It was very interesting. Um, let's see what they were. Um, they got quite a few while I was in there. Um, okay, so the first word I got when I was doing the cemetery was stuff, and then I got charity. And I asked the spirits. I said, "Do you need it like something donated? Do you need some help with something?" And it wasn't long after that I got the word boots, like they were needing boots, maybe. And and then I got other words that because I was kind of going through the cemetery everywhere, and I got the name Mark, and I found that there was a lady buried there. Her husband name was Mark, although he wasn't buried there. Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, that investigation today was one of my favorites because I like that kind of stuff. She's here, cold and touch. No, I did not see the picture in the newspaper one. Yeah, can you send it to me if you wouldn't mind? I may have seen a picture of them, but I didn't really read much in the newspapers.com. But I will say this, even though they don't sponsor us, and I would love them to. Just like Find a Grave, I love them to sponsor us. Um, newspapers.com is has been a good resource. It can kind of get you mixed up a little bit, but it's not bad though. Instrument, busy, but yeah. The Newton Academy was really cool. Okay, so she's gonna send me the picture, and it won't come up. Why is it not working? Come on, there you go. Come on. I gotta sign in. Um, so I'm kind of looking at the picture my sister sent me if I can get it to come up. Come on. Oh wow. Boom. I was fixing to look at it and then it went. Oh, okay, yeah. He was a big guy. He was a very big guy. Thought I could probably sit over 6 foot tall. Don't know how. Let's see. Let me try to plug the camera in. I'll try to show you guys. Oh, I can't get my camera to work. Hang on a second. Incredibly hot. Um, yeah, the Find a Grave kind of does, Bama. Hang on a second. Let me fix this camera. Um, I don't know how good you can see that, but that's Harris. He's a big old boy. I mean, he is big. I say over 6 foot tall, just by looking at the picture there. But that was uh, that was him. That's who we've been talking about tonight. Yeah, I've not seen that before. That video. The Find a Grave app, Bama, and I'll show you what it looks like. I'll pull it up. This has been the one thing I've used when I go to the cemeteries now. You can't see it. Hang on a minute. Let me fix the lighting on it. Make it a little dimmer. Okay, that might work. There you go. Find a grave, and you can do like the memorial searches and the cemetery searches. And if you're in a cemetery, all you gotta do is hit that, and it'll bring up the cemetery you're at, and you just click onto it, and you can look up whoever you need to look up. But you can also do like memorial searches, like I have. That's kind of blurry, I know, but I was looking up Tom Neal and trying to find him in this area, and you just put in like North Carolina, Asheville, or wherever you're looking, and that app works good. And sometimes you can find things that can help. The unlisted cemeteries, though, um, I have found a couple in there that I didn't see before when I was looking at cemeteries online. So yeah, you might be able to come across some things for sure. Bible hurting William. One of the officers that was shot, his great grandson still has the rifle there. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's wild. But that's just yeah. I don't know what you would do with that thing. I think it just made me angry to think about it, just having that in my home. But man, when they got him, they got him. It was just it was sad, you know. It's a very sad story. Mm. Well, does anybody have any questions or want to comment about anything we've talked about tonight? I'm not sure what next week's podcast will be. You got the word dark. Um, what I want to do yet. I'm trying to get trying. I want to try to start reaching out to some more people about having some guests up. So we'll see. We'll see if we're wanting to do it. There's more of us. So there's a lot of spirits around here. But that was all that I found that I came across that I was going to read tonight, though. Didn't see anything else on here. They got at the bottom of those pages that I just read, you can get some references from other groups: Asheville Paranormal Society, hauntedplaces.org, Citizen Times, which is our local newspaper, the New York Daily News, which is the other thing I read off of tonight, Asheville Historians, WordPress.com. So you can click onto those and you can read their versions of it and what they have as well. But I'm definitely going to keep working on the Will Harris investigations and see what I come up with. I mean, you just never know. Thank you, Bama. I try to find the most interesting things I can. Mm. And especially ones that I've done something with, I have a little bit of better knowledge of it. I know we're getting closer to Halloween. I'm going to start bringing my Halloween props in here. We got the skull in the house. I like to have. I got a skull with sunglasses. I'll put them in there. I'll put them in here with the stuff. We got some other things that Melanie and Michael from Shiver and Shiver that Melanie made for us. I'll put it in here. There's some things I'm going to put in here soon. You got orange, and that's Halloween. Yeah, we'll start decorating this area a little bit so when we do our night investigation, you'll see a little more Halloween looking stuff. And like I said, if I come across any more haunted dolls or something, I'll put them in here. I mean, I'm not totally going out of my way to find any, but if I come across any. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going ahead and call it a night. It's been almost our hour. Um, but like I said, I hope everyone enjoyed it. And Bama said really interesting. I do appreciate that. We're gonna get Bama up here again soon. I want you back up here sometime, some Bama. Do another podcast with you. We'll talk about some kind of paranormal something. But anyway, so we'll be back Sunday night, 9:30. I might start backing things up to 9 o'clock. Be a little bit of an earlier start. Thank you, Vodka. I appreciate that. Glad you all have been here. Glad everybody's been able to enjoy this story and give me some words that came up through the ghost tools and stuff. That's gone right along with the story that I've told. I really enjoyed that. So, be looking for us on Sunday night, like I said, 9 o'clock. I want to try to work on a video maybe Friday to put up. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty busy, so I usually try to put them up on Thursdays, but um, probably Friday this week. But I'm going to let y'all go, and I hope everyone has a great night. And I love y'all, and I will see you soon. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. And I will talk to you all on Sunday night. Bye.